Kick off the summer Ceilidh season with Kitchen Fest, back for its 12th year. From June 27th to July 5th, all across Cape Breton Island, we invite you to join us for a celebration of Gaelic music, culture, and community. Enjoy concerts, Ceilidhs, pub nights, and square dances, all with Cape Breton's signature sound, energy, and spirit. Whether you're local or visiting, be part of the island's biggest kitchen party. For full schedule details, visit kitchenfest.ca.
Yep.
Well, Fáilte go cover from the Gaelic. Welcome to the Gaelic College. Michelle Rudy Donawach. I can send me a couple of cover from the Gaelic. My name is Rodney MacDonald, and I work here at the college. And very pleased to welcome those that are local and those that are visiting, and some of the students that are here this month with us as well for the course of Bookie, for the month-long Gaelic immersion courses that we have, and also the 2-week course that's on as well, conducted by Joyce MacDonald and Colin MacDonald. So we have some great music here tonight. Really looking forward to hearing Buddy MacDonald and Shawn MacDonald and Susan MacLean here tonight as well, and it should be a fun night. Lots of great singing and fiddle tunes and such. And all of these great musicians, these 3 great musicians, you can hear during Kitchen Fest coming up this summer, June 27th to July 5th. So I encourage those that may be joining us online or here tonight to visit our website, kitchenfest.ca, and the entire lineup for the pub nights, the concerts, the dances, and such are available there, and you can see the artists, and you can see you can check to see where Buddy's playing, or Shawn, or Susan, or the many other musicians that are going to be here with us around the island. And on our site here at the college, we'll have some lunchtime Ceilidhs, of course. We'll have some Getting Primed pubs. Of course, our Wednesday night show is going to be a dandy that night as well, Wednesday night. And we have the Big Bash on June 30th in the Hall of the Clans. And there's tickets available for that on Eventbrite, with lots of great music. Howie MacDonald is going to be there. Goes from 4 to 10 on June 30th. Howie's there with Mac Moran and Brennan MacDonald, a singer, and we have Pretty Archie. They were here last year with us. Great band as well. We are also joined by J.B. Cormier and Dave Gunning, who are always a treat together, and as individuals, of course, as well. And who am I missing now? Did I say them all? Evans and Doherty. Evans and Doherty are also there that night as well. So that's going to be a fun night. So June 30th, tickets are on Eventbrite, and you can, if you go to our website, you can see, you can get a link to that show on June 30th, because there is a limited number of tickets available for the Hall of the Clans. But there's lots of other great music around the island, so whether you're going to the Bedeck Legion, or the Red Shoe Pub, or the Dorman Shetty Camp, or Brador Lakes Inn, or Governors, or the Triangle, or not Governors, sorry, but the Triangle, or Daniels, and others, there's plenty of opportunities and for some great music. So, speaking again of great music, we're going to kick things off tonight with someone that doesn't need any introduction, and all the locals here know him very well. He is one of the most seasoned musicians that we have around the island. He's a great friend to all the musicians, and there's certain musicians I feel that they kind of transcend the age, whatever age they might be, and I don't mean that in a bad way at all, Buddy. But Buddy hangs out with the 20-year-olds just as equally as he hangs out with the 40-year-olds or the 60-year-olds or 60 plus beyond that, and because he's so well respected. So let's put our hands together for Buddy MacDonald. I
Hello. Hello. Nice to be here. Nice to be anywhere. Really. And it's been a while since I've been at the college here. Sort of rambling around all winter and what we call spring. How many people are from Cape Breton here? How many local people do we have in? Oh yeah, a few. So you guys are, I saw a sign up somewhere where there's a Weavers Retreat. Oh. Maybe that is in another lifetime. It's out front, Rodney, in case you're wondering where the Weavers are. Anyway, welcome. I was born and brought up not far from here, actually, probably 25, 30 minutes north on the Cabot Trail, a little place called North Shore. And I used to do a lot of traveling folk music through Quebec, and they say, where are you from? He said, I'd say the North Shore, the North Shore. There's no shore like the North Shore, and that's for sure. So it's, I moved south many years ago, and 45 minutes. I'm over in the Bredor Lakes now, so it's all cool. So I'm going to do a song called No Change in the Weather. Story written by a very good friend of mine, the late and great Ronnie Hines from Fairyland, Newfoundland. And he wrote this for his nephew, who was going to go make his fame and fortune in the West on the oil fields. And Ronnie was trying to convince him otherwise. He said the grass is not always greener. So he wrote a tune called The Young Guy Went After All. Made more money than Ronnie did. No change in the weather, no change in me. You don't want to leave, but you can't live for free. For you can't eat the air, and you can't drink the sea. There's no change in the weather, there's no change in me. You can shoot off a cannon down the middle of the ball and attract no attention in downtown St. John. For it is getting nowhere, well, it's getting to me, wondering where can I go to be all I can be. No regular Joe wants to pack up and go and find himself homesick with no one you know. Just stay smoking a beer and the sports on TV, wondering where can I go to be all I can be. There's no change in the weather, no change in me. You don't want to leave, but you can't live for free. For you can't eat the air, and you can't drink the sea. There's no change in the weather, there's no change in me. You can shoot off a cannon from on top of one hill, but a Gulliver's taxi might be all you would kill. We were promised the moon, we were promised the stars. We got broken down platters, salt rusted cars. But we join in believing with all of the rest, Montreal, Calgary, and Vancouver West. Just lay down on the sidewalk and pretend to die, then watch all the strange people as they pass you by. No change, no change in the weather, no change in me. Don't wanna leave, but you can't live for free. Or you can't eat the air, or you can't drink the sea. There's no change in the weather, there's no change in me. There's no change in the weather, there's no change in me. You don't want to leave, but you can't live for free. Or you can't eat the air, and you can't drink the sea. There's no change in the weather, there's no change in me. There's no change in the weather, there's no change in me. Thanks very much. You guys doing okay? Yeah, survived the winter and the spring fine, did you? I guess we're still in spring, are we? I'm not much for knowing when the spring stops and summer starts. October, maybe. I'm going to do a song here that I wrote. I go to Scotland a lot and have been going since time began. It's pretty bad when you go into a convenience store in Burness, Scotland. They call you by name. And they know what kind of sandwich you're getting. But anyway, I used to do a lot of work on a festival in a little place called Dunkeld in Scotland, in Perthshire. And for MacLean, Dougie and I have been buddies since a lot of years. So we did a show, must be 10, 12 years ago. Dougie is very unpredictable when you go to do shows, sort of one-off shows around the country with him, because he changes his mind as he's walking up the steps on the stage. But anyway, he told me one morning, he said, we're playing at the Dunkeld Cathedral tonight. I said, that's nice. He said, it's a 700-year-old cathedral. But he said, we're playing in the new part, 600 years old. And we went down and did a sort of a run through and a sound check, just he and I, and just like two folk singers in this massive 650 seat rock cathedral, very cold in November. And anyway, we were doing sort of a sound check, sort of a run through, and in the afternoon, and when we finished, people from the area that came in, they had tea and coffee and sandwiches and all that kind of good stuff. And I was eating the sandwich and having the tea up on the altar, yeah. And sitting down, and the priest came up to me and he said, oh, you can't sit there. And I had sort of chords and guitars around. I said, well, I'm sorry, yeah, I'll have this out of your way, just having a cup of tea. No, you can't sit there. You're sitting on Father John. I said, am I? Apparently I was sitting on the top of the tomb. He didn't object, so. But anyway, it is different. But it turned out to be a pretty beautiful evening. So I wrote a tune after I left Father John, and it's called Feel the Air. And if you guys want to sing along with anything that sounds even vaguely like a chorus or whatever, fill the room. I walked the river day to day, shores of ancient gold. In silence stopped and pondered on the stories left untold. I wondered who had walked these shores, or where their journeys end. But I just closed my eyes and felt the air. That's where you guys sing. Feel the air, feel the air. Take your time, slow down, and feel the air. You guys try it. Feel the air, feel the air. Take your time, slow down, and feel the air. I found myself within the walls of this cathedral in Dunkeld. Centuries of voices spoke and broke this silent spell. These walls of 700 years were cold and chilled my bones. But I just closed my eyes and felt the air. Wanna try it? Feel the air, feel the air. Nice. Take your time to slow down and feel the air. Now every voice, here we go. Feel the air, feel the air. Take your time to slow down and feel the air. Dunkeld has made me young today. It made my soul feel free. It called my name and it welcomed me. It gently spoke to me. It made me feel that we're still one, even far across the sea. It made me glad I stopped to feel the air. Here we go. Feel the air, feel the air. Take your time. Take your time, slow down, and feel the air. One more time with feeling now. Feel the air, feel the air. Take your time, slow down. Slow down and feel the air. Thank you. I'm leaving for another run in Scotland on Sunday. I think Monday maybe. I haven't really checked yet, but I have to go to Halifax Sunday, so I'm kind of hoping that's not the day I'm flying. But I'm doing a festival out on the Orkney, and this will be my 4th time out on Orkney. I love the place. And I have a good friend, Douglas Montgomery, who has played over here many, many times. Exceptional musician, fiddler. And I'm doing a part of a show that he's putting together. So he called the other night and he said, I'd love if you would do that song that you and Father John wrote while you were sitting on his tomb. So that is Feel the Air. It's a song about traveling when you're living on an island. A lot of you are maybe, since you're from away, don't know where you're from, but you realize when you're living on an island that most times you have to leave to find work. and it's been going on that way for generations. Where I grew up, people were leaving a couple of generations back, 2 generations back actually, and going to what we used to refer to as the Boston States. Anywhere south of the border was the Boston States. I used to come home when I was starting to do this when I was pretty young, and my dad would say, well, where were you? And we were down in Tennessee or somewhere. I said, well, how did you like it down in the Boston States? So anyway, people still not as much now, but people are moving away to seek work. A lot of people go to the west, the northwest of Canada, and work in places like very exotic places like Fort McMurray, where no man should go. So I used to play. I played a million gigs in Fort Mac, it seems, and I wrote this one night after talking to a young man from here, from Cape Breton. And he and his wife were there, and they were very sad that they couldn't come back home with me. And I asked him, how long have you been west? And he said, I left 17 years ago. He said to work for 2 or 3 months, and I haven't been home yet. And I'll always remember the feeling I had. Yeah. So I wrote a tune called Nobody Home. Again, there's a chorus, just scream it out. Ain't nobody home no more, there ain't nobody home. Ain't no rest till they hit the west. Nobody home no more, try it. Ain't nobody home no more, ain't nobody home, there'll be no rest. Ain't no rest till they hit the west. Nobody home no more, there ain't nobody home. No tracks in the dust by the old front door. No voices ringing like they did before. For they're fleeing the nest like eagles they soar. Nobody home no more. Leaving for a life of travel and toil, drilling for the dreams in the western soil. Survival, they say, is finding more oil. Nobody home no more. And there ain't nobody home no more. Ain't nobody home yet. No rest till they hit the west. Nobody home no more. There ain't nobody home no more. Ain't nobody home. Ain't no rest till they hit the west. Nobody home no more. There ain't nobody home. Well, another day over there, slow to fly, and the sun goes down and the dreams go by. That sun would be brighter in my eastern sky. Wish I was going home. Everybody, ain't nobody home no more. Ain't nobody home. There'll be no rest. Be no rest till they hit the west. Nobody home, no. Let's put the hands together. Ain't nobody home no more. Ain't nobody home. And there'll be no rest till they hit the west. Nobody home no more. You guys try it. Ain't nobody home no more. There ain't nobody home. There'll be no rest till they hit the west. Nobody home no more. Ain't nobody home. Ain't nobody home. Can't hear it. Ain't nobody home. There ain't nobody home. Thank you very much. tonight, really.
There you go.
Thanks, man.
Thanks a lot, buddy. Nach Roche wasn't that good? Buddy MacDonald. Thank you so much, buddy, for being here and for being a great supporter of the college. And Buddy is can be seen during Kitchen Fest at a few locations. So if you live in the Bedeck area, he'll be at the Bedeck Legion on July the 1st. He is here at a Getting Primed pub here in this room, along with some other musicians during Kitchen Fest. And then on the Friday, which will be, I guess, July 4th, he can be seen at the Boysdale Hall with a number of other musicians for a concert, which will be a great concert as well. So take a look for that, and you'll be in for a treat, along with all the other musicians as well. So, Shawn, you ready to go? Shawn MacDonald. Let's put our hands together for Shawn and Susan. Shawn has been in high demand teaching the last over 30 years, and is sort of slowing down in that regard a little bit, and got lots of other work to do, his regular day job, of course, and of course as a musician as well. We're happy to have him, and Susan as well. And Shawn will be at the Normoy Inn during Kitchen Fest, along with his brother Dan and their group, North Atlantic Drift, and join that night as well with Susan at the Normoy Inn on Egypt Road in Marguerite. And as well, you can catch Shawn at the Red Shoe Pub that week with Rachel Davis, and Darren McMullen, and Jason Roach. And you can also catch Susan during Kitchen Fest. You'll notice I'm plugging Kitchen Fest a lot tonight because I want everybody to take a look for sure. And Susan will be at Daniel's that week, I think on June 30th. And then here for a Bossman Ceilidh as well, lunchtime Ceilidh. So you can catch Susan as well during the week as well. So we're looking forward to some tunes. Shawn's family is one of the best known families of music in Cape Breton Island, without a doubt. Lots of connections with the MacDonalds, and they come from a line of musicians, and we're happy to have him here tonight. And he's a great friend of the college. So welcome. And I promise not to do too much time.
Good evening. And the Lord be with you. No, just kidding. Rodney, thank you very much for having me. It was a real pleasure when you gave me the phone call. It's been a while since I've been here at the Gaelic College. I used to do a lot of elder hostels here at the Gaelic College. The last one actually I did was 9/11. I'll never forget that day because I was supposed to do the elder hostel, and then the attack hit New York. And then the Gaelic College called me and said, looks like it's going to be canceled. And I said, okay, no problem. And then 3 hours later, they said, can you come down? And I said, absolutely. And apparently the whole crew was from New York. And they were all glued to the television when I got here. There were grief counselors there. And kind of felt really awkward. Didn't know what to do. And I said, well, look, guys, if you want, you can take a break from that and come here. And I played them for 2 hours. And it was the most memorable experience I had here at the Gaelic College. So thank you very much for having me back. It's been a long time since I've been here. Anyways, my name is Shawn MacDonald, and I come from a big family. We're Catholics. I have 9 brothers and 2 sisters. Yep, all from the same marriage. And pretty much everyone in my family has played music. My brother Danny is a fiddler in Toronto. My brother Paul, he's a guitar player and an ethnomusicologist. He has pretty much every recording of every kitchen party, Ceilidh, concert, dance that spans back to about 100 years in his library. He's probably one of the foremost authorities in Cape Breton music history. And my brother Marty, he's plays the cello, and he's also associate conductor of Symphony Nova Scotia. and he also conducts the Toronto Symphony and the Hamilton Symphony in Ontario. And I work for the car business, but I still play. I've been playing 51 years. I'm 56 years old. I took the fiddle up the very first time after my sister Sandy was taking fiddle lessons, and I did my best to get Twinkle Twinkle Little Star out, and as soon as I got that, I was hooked. Never put it down. So, and a lot of my brothers, they play music as well, but we were a band called Scumalash, which is a Gaelic slang word, which was my great-grandfather's on my mother's side. His name was Scumalash Angus MacDonald. He was an alderman in Sydney. So he also worked for the post office, and he would drive a wagon, or what you call a slevin, and he saw kids catching a ride on the back of his wagon, and whenever he saw it was getting too busy, he'd say, "Scumalash, scumalash," which basically meant beat it, scram, vamoose, be careful. So, you know, there's so many MacDonalds and MacLeans and McNeils back in the day. Every family had a nickname. So my mother's nickname was the Scumalash MacDonalds from the north end of Sydney. So when Dad was getting us together to have a group, you know, to formulate a group, he came up with the name of Scumalash. And he said to my mother, "Wendy, what do you think about Scumalash?" My mother said, "Well, you better check with the in-laws." So he checked with the in-laws, and of course they said no, so that gave him the green light. My father, Lloyd, he was an amazing fiddler slash violinist, classically trained. And my wonderful mother, she was a piano player and also a choir director, both passed. But they were a tremendous influence on us in and not just working, but loving music and enjoying it. And so anyways, so that's our family history. And we still play a lot. And anyways, so I'm going to start off with a group of jigs, and I'll pretty much call them traditional because I can't remember the names of them. In Cape Breton, if we don't know the name of the fiddle tune, we usually call it traditional. So whenever I say something that's traditional, you know what I mean. So here we go. Thank you very much. Susan MacLean, isn't she awesome? Susan and I play a lot together, and she's an incredible pianist, so glad to be playing with her again. Awesome. I'm going to play a slow air now, and I love playing slow airs. Slow airs tell a story. It's good, bad, sad, happy, doesn't matter. And this is probably one of my favorites, and I learned this one from my father, my late father, and it's become my ultimate favorite. And I'm just going to play this by itself, if it's all right. And whenever we perform this on stage, Dad was always hilarious. You know, he always had a story for everything. You know, he'd be saying, "Okay, we're going to play a slow air now. It's called Neil Gall's Lament for the Death of His Second Wife." Now, he said, "I never heard a lament for his first wife, so she must have been a miserable rig to live with." But anyways, it's a beautiful slow air, and I'm going to play it by itself. Here we go. Thank you very much. There's a little bit of classical in there. I'm a classical musician as well. I went all the way in college and played with Nova Scotia Youth Orchestra for 10 years and concertmaster of the Cape Breton Orchestra for the last 30 years. So classical music has brought a lot to me and it helped me a lot with my Celtic playing as well. Anyways, so I'm going to press on with another slow air that me and Susan play a lot together, and it's a tune that I wrote. I wrote it for my wife, and it's called Charlotte's Theme, and we played this at the Celtic Colours together in Iona for the first time, and she fell right in love with it. I think she's the only one. Anyways, so I wrote this for my wife, and she's an incredible woman, and very lucky to have her as my wife, and I hope she's lucky to have me as her husband. And then we'll hook into some stress bass and reels. So here we go. Ronnie, one more? One more? Sure. Okay. Thank you very much. Hope you're enjoying yourselves. Awesome. Glad the weather's finally cooperating. Last couple of days, as my late father would say, it's colder than a mother-in-law's kiss. Yes. All right, well, I'm going to play you another number, and then Buddy is going to come on again, I guess. This is a group of jigs, and they're traditional.
Thank you very much.
Wasn't that dandy music? Great job, Shawn and Susan, and wonderful to have you here. Comes from the Gaelic once again, and beautiful tunes, and the influence obviously from his family, and the amount of music that you must have heard in the house certainly is evident in your playing, and we're happy to have you here, Shawn. And a great teacher as well. There's a lot of musicians that have gone through classes with Shawn over the years, and Cape Breton music scene is better for us, and we appreciate that. And speaking of teaching, I wanted a little shout out to Susan MacLean, because Susan was recognized with an award for teaching in the last few weeks for the district school, and I want to say congratulations to you, Susan, for being recognized by the province of Nova Scotia. Sure. And Susan's a regular instructor with us as well, of course, and very involved in the Cape Breton Fiddlers. Grew up not too far from lots of musicians. She got the relatives, of course, with the Mackenzies and the McNeils and the MacLeans, and Michael Anthony, of course. MacLean would be a relative and related to the Bears, of course, and Carl Mackenzie, actor Mackenzie, and others. And is also a fiddler as well, so we're happy to have her here tonight. A couple of things before we get Buddy to sing another song. Again, I want to welcome the students here and that are taking a 4-week Gaelic immersion course with us, and want to welcome them here tonight. And others that were here for a 2-week course as well with us. And they come from different parts of Canada and the United States and across Nova Scotia and such. And we have well over 200 students as well that join us online from September until the spring. And some of them end up taking a course of Oki with us. And a little plug for our Gaelic courses to those that are perhaps watching online tonight, because it will be about, there's probably close to 250,000 people a year that'll watch our little Wednesday night Ceilidhs from all over the place. Really? Yeah, throughout the year. And so that's something that we're proud to do, and to make sure that it's available. And we're able to do that because we have a lot of friends as well of the college, and a little shout out to many of our friends who have been very generous over the years to us online, and those in this room, and others. And I just want to say how much we appreciate it and how much a difference it makes for the college and the work that we do. So a little shout out to them, and thanks as well in that regard. So, that being said, anybody that's watching online that wants to make a donation to the college tonight, we would very much appreciate that as well. And Ryan will make sure that the information is on the website as well, and it'll go towards the programs that we have, mainly to serve youth, but adults as well throughout the year. So, Buddy's back.
Sure.
All right.
We're back. I forgot about people watching.
You may have seen Buddy on a milk carton somewhere, something like that.
Post office. Thanks, man. I was doing a lot of thinking when Shawn was talking about his family, and his dad and I had a lot of really deep, intelligent conversations sometimes that ended up in nothing but meaningless laughter. It was great. And I remember one of those days, and as Shawn probably mentioned, I didn't hear him speaking about everything because I was outside. Very successful businessman, to say the least, in the auto industry, and I used to take shots at him all the time, man. I'd be meeting him on the street. I'd be looking for a loan or looking for money, pretending. And I remember meeting him one day, and he was coming out of the bank. I was coming down Charlotte Street. And I said, man, I said, if I would have been a car dealer, I said, I'd be able to invite you for a coffee somewhere now. He laughed at me and said, well, maybe you didn't make a bad decision, he said. I said, no, I think I should have really started selling cars. And he said, well, one thing about, he said, you write songs. And he said, I bet you that you couldn't name one song that ever came back for a warranty. So I thought of that when Shawn was talking. So I'm going to do a song called Down Where the River Flows. And it's a song that comes from a conversation I had many, many years ago with my dad. When I was very young, starting out, deciding I was going to follow this very lucrative career. And I think this is year 55 touring in the business. I think it was 1970, I did my first paying gig. $75 and a 40-ounce bottle of Canadian Club. Yeah, we're on top of the world, man. Dr. Chow's wedding. Dr. Chow's on the deck for many years. Local doctor. But anyway, my dad, very supportive of what you set out to do. Although I could have been a fisherman like all my family, but I just chose to do. And he said, whatever you choose to do, try, do it right. And what you should do first, though, he said, is look around, slow down, and grow up. I thought that was very deep advice if I would have taken it. Down where the river flows, down where the river flows. Lots more time at the end of the day, down where the river flows. Try it. Down where the river flows, down where the river flows. There'll be lots more time at the end of the day, down where the river flows. I was a boy, I found simple joy in the time that I spent alone, dreaming of trips on the sea-bound ships that carry me from my home. It was not for the want of leaving my loved ones back on the shore, but that endless blue horizon that would call me forevermore. Down where the river flows, down where the river flows. Lots more time at the end of the day, down where the river flows. Try it. Down where the river flows, down where the river flows. lots more time at the end of the day, down where the river flows. Now the boyhood days are past and gone, my hair's a wise and gray, but I still make time to go down and dream where my river meets the bay. For my father once in his knowledge said, slow down, look around and grow. There'll be lots more dreaming at the end of your day, down where the river flows. Now the day is done, the course is run, plant a seed and in time it'll grow. And your time will be your garden, and your dreams will be your rose. Down where the river flows, help me out. Down where the river flows, there'll be lots more time at the end of the day, down where the river flows. Down where the river flows, down where the river flows. Lots more time at the end of the day, down where the river flows. There'll be lots more time at the end of the day, down where the river flows. Thank you. I'm going to invite Susan up. Play a tune. Don't be shy.
Hi everyone, thank you for coming, and hello to everyone online. I'm going to play a composition of my own. My grandparents, I was very lucky to grow up next door to them, and they lived long, healthy lives, and my grandfather played the violin, as Rodney mentioned earlier, MacLean. And my grandmother, Rose, loved the piano, and when I would visit, Grampy and I would often play tunes together, and she always encouraged me to play some solos. So I wrote this piece for her in 1989. It's called Grandma Rose, and I hope you like it. I'm going to ask Buddy to join in with me.
a tune. I heard that tune first about half an hour ago. I got a text just before I came up here, and just one of them, you had the clip on it, the music clip, and I was wondering, what's that? She said, it said, "Hi, I'm Susan." Anyway, I was talking to my daughter at the time, Heidi, out in BC, and so I'm gonna have to put you on hold here. I'm learning the fiddle. I'm learning a tune that I have to play in an hour's time. That's what a gorgeous tune. I hadn't heard. Come up and play a long song? Sure. And then we're gonna get some grind some ale going afterwards. I figured that I probably wouldn't escape without doing this song tonight. I wrote this song 28 years ago. I was pretty young. Anyway, it's a tune called "Getting Dark Again." Again.
Maybe if you could more?
No, a little less.
Sure.
That's cool there.
There?
Yeah, we got all the high end of it. Yeah, just written, I think it's 28 years ago. And it's found its way around the world to a lot of different situations, believe me. And my daughter, who I mentioned, had sent me a very late night message a bunch of years ago. She was, I guess she was in BC, she was on the road somewhere, and she said, "You'll have to go on YouTube right away." This is like 2 a.m. And she said, "There's a Japanese bluegrass, a young Japanese bluegrass band playing Getting Dark Again in Tokyo." I said, "Really?" And it is on there. They're like 18 and 19-year-olds, and they're just smoking around Getting Dark Again. And Heidi, in her wit, she said, "Man, I didn't realize you were so big in Tokyo." Just tall. Yep, here we go. There's a piper in the corner, there's a dancer on the floor, drink upon the table, they're calling out for more. There's Gaelic in the fiddle, like Gaelic in the glen. The songs take on new meaning, boy, it's getting dark again. Getting dark again, getting dark again. The second time since we got up, it's getting dark. There was tea and tunes this morning, or was it yesterday, when friends and fiddles gathered, and friends and fiddles played. Those lots of those were the times, do you remember when? But that was chips and reels ago, it's getting dark again, getting dark again, getting dark again. The second time since we got up, it's getting dark. Well, if any of you are slighted, the deeds that now are done by the fellowship of music, the fantasy of fun, we'd like to say we're sorry, shed a tear for you, but then we haven't got the time right now. It's put the hands together, it's getting dark again, getting dark again. The second time since we got up, it's getting dark again, getting dark again, getting dark again. Second time since we got up, it's getting dark. And as songs stick under me, boy, it's getting dark again, and again, and again. Thank you. I always like to tell the story. Rodney mentioned that JP and Gunning are doing Dave Gunning are doing a show somewhere. When Dave was very young, he did his first album, I think he was 16. And I used to play, when I'd be coming through, I'd play in Pictou a lot. And that's where Dave is from, up Pictou County. And he used to be standing down by the soundboard, this little guy, and then he kept, the next year he'd be up backstage, and the next year he'd be playing. He was a monster. But anyway, he called me up on his first album, and he said, I don't know if any of you know Dave Gunning, he's very laid back. I don't think he's scared to talk to you. He said, I really want to record Getting Dark Again. I said, great, man, go for it. Yeah, I haven't got any money. I said, you don't need money, man. I said, you just do all your licensing and all that stuff. I said, it's all good. So anyway, he did, and did well with it. And but a year later or so, I ran into him again, and I was doing a show in Pictou, and he came up to me backstage, and he said, what are you doing after the gig? I said, no plans, man, back to the hotel probably. He said, let's go down to Mia's Pizza in Pictou. And I said, sure. So it was like 1 in the morning or whatever it was. And Dave ordered up the big pizza, got the knife and cut it up into all the slices, and took 3 or 4 of them and slid them over in front of me. He said, that should be about 50 CDs there, shouldn't it? He said. So the ongoing joke went on for a year. The next year or two, I'd meet him across the country somewhere. He'd always say, let's go have a burger, man. So I used to tell everybody I'm probably the only folk singer in North America that got paid in burgers and pizza slices. Anyway, thank you, Dave. A little finale there.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Let's go with that, Shawn.
Yep.
We're so nice, we're even going to let Rodney MacDonald on the stage. Rodney and I have been on a few stages together.
A couple of stages. Yes. Listen, it's been a great night, and thank you all for joining us here tonight at Mackenzie Hall at Colliston of Gaelic. And thanks to our musicians, Susan MacLean on the piano, Shawn MacDonald with his violin, and of course, Buddy MacDonald. A little shout out to Michael as well, around the board, and to Ryan for the live stream as well, and Barbie back at the refreshment table as well, and with her oat cakes. So, thank you very much.
And they're good oat cakes.
They are good oat cakes. Next week, John Pellerin will be here. John's a great fiddler and step dancer, of course, as well from Antigonish. Alan Dorr is going to be here as well, and a great musician on the keys, and he's actually a great fiddler and guitar player as well, and amongst no doubt other instruments as well. And Michael's going to be here with his guitar as well, and song, and perhaps some others as well next week. So we'll make sure that's posted tomorrow, and we'll welcome you all back for sure. And it should be a fun night of music. And thanks again for those that joined us online. And again, keep a watch out for kitchenfest.ca. So if you go, you can go to kitchenfest.ca. You can see all the musicians, you can see the schedule. If you're planning a trip to Cape Breton, June 27th to July the 5th, lots of great music. And for our Gaelic College programs, visit our website, gaeliccollege.edu. There's lots of learning opportunities, whether you're 5 years old or 50 years old or 150 years old, it doesn't matter. There's lots of opportunity, and we welcome everyone here to the college. The craft shop will open in a couple of weeks. I think it's the 26th. So there's lots of great items in the craft shop always. And we'd welcome anybody who's driving along the Cabot Trail to stop in, and of course all our locals as well. That's it. Am I forgetting anything? Are you playing anywhere in the next few days you want to mention? Little shoots? No? Buddy, anything you want to mention?
Scotland.
Nothing. You're going to Scotland. If you happen to be in Scotland this weekend,
You have to be out on the Orkneys.
okay, we'll head off with a song and a couple of reels, and that's it for the night. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. Oh, the summertime is coming, and the trees are sweetly blooming, and the wild mountain thyme rolls around the blooming heather. Will you go? Watch me go. Sing along. And we'll all go together to plot wild mountain thyme all around the blooming heather. Will you go? Watch me go. I will build for my love a bower near yon pure crystal fountain, and on it I will pile all the flowers of my mountain. Will you go? Everybody sing. And we'll all go together to plot wild mountain thyme all around the blooming heather. Will you go? If my true love, she were gone, I would surely find no other where the wild mountain thyme rolls around the blooming heather. Last chance to sing. Here we go. And we'll all go together to plot wild mountain thyme all around the blooming heather. Will you go? I see. Will you go? I see. Will you go? I see.
very much.
Kick off the summer Ceilidh season with Kitchen Fest, back for its 12th year. From June 27th to July 5th, all across Cape Breton Island, we invite you to join us for a celebration of Gaelic music, culture, and community. Enjoy concerts, Ceilidhs, pub nights, and square dances, all with Cape Breton's signature sound, energy, and spirit. Whether you're local or visiting, be part of the island's biggest kitchen party. For full schedule details, visit kitchenfest.ca.